Welcome, everybody, to Saves Together, a podcast about playing games together, whether that means co-op or passing the controller back and forth or just playing the same game at the same time. It doesn't matter how, it only matters that it's together because...
when you save together, you stay together.
This is episode 17, and the topic for today is...
Divinity Original Sin 2.
Part 1.
There's a lot of title to this game.
Well, the part 1's our title.
Well, I'm just saying, there's also a lot of title to this game. It's a long title.
I wonder what the longest game title is. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's probably like a fighting game like Ultra Mix Fighting Spirit 7. Oh, there's like a Dead Rising joke DLC that was like Frank's.
Oh, really? But I feel like maybe DLC doesn't count.
And it's a joke. So I guess that doesn't. Maybe.
Well, I mean, if it was the actual name.
Is there like a Tales of Vesperia, Adam's Ascension Part 4? Like,
actually, no. They're all kind of just 3 words.
How about... There's got to be one that's like pretty obvious that we're just...
It's probably a fighting game.
I think it's an RPG.
Most of the RPGs like have 3 to 4 words. Tales of Vesperia. I was trying to think of an Outlier name. Alchemist, something of Altier.
Oh, wait, what?
I don't know. I don't know the titles of those
games. Is it blah, 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 Altier, blah, 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 something of blah, blah, something, blah?
No, it's not that long.
Oh. Anyway, we're doing this in 2 parts because...
It's a very long game. Actually, I would say the longest game that we've wanted to complete. I was trying to think of a longer game. Probably Diablo 3, which was one of the first episode we did, is, similar in length considering it's a long RPG, but we didn't want to keep going. So this is the one that we want to beat. So we're going to do 2 parts, and this first part just sort of explain more mechanics and what we are thinking about it so far, but try to keep it mostly spoiler free. And then in the second part, we'll talk more about how we felt about the story, if that makes sense.
And then revisit things we've said, maybe if by the time we're ready for episode 2, part 2, did we realize, oh, we're stupid, this is this way, blah, blah.
Right. So if we changed our minds if we found out something new.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to hear right now, at least for me, I'm very high on this game.
I'm pretty high.
We were high on this game last episode.
Yes.
And we're still high on this game. So most likely part 2 is going to be we're still high on this game. But who knows?
Who knows? Maybe the game deletes your save file at the very end.
That'd be cool.
That actually sounds like something this game would do.
Yeah, like once you become God, you don't have time for video games.
I mean, that kind of happens in Dragon's Dogma. At the very end, you ascend to being God, and it's like, game over. It's over. The world is over.
Dragon's Dogma, The Dark Arisen.
Yeah.
Divinity, Original Sin 2. I mean, I don't think it's that long of a title.
Well,
Besides that, what have you been playing other than Divinity, Original Sin 2?
Other than that, I started playing Dragon Quest 11, which is because I love RPGs. What can I say?
I was just trying to feed you to say that you beat the other one.
Oh, I beat Trails of Cold Steel 2, finally. It's a very long game. Very, very long. Probably spent 130 hours, so.
30 of them were just...
on the pause screen.
Yeah.
That's a lot of RPG hours for me, is just I pause it to make dinner or look at my phone or scroll Twitter.
I made a joke, I called her out as a joke of every time I look over at you playing this game, you're actually just looking at Twitter on your phone. But it wasn't supposed to be a mean, I wasn't saying it yo, this game must be bad. It's a funny observation of some games you need to do that, right? Where it's just
yeah, you just need a break.
I just gotta hang out for a second. Even in the middle of a battle or the middle of a cutscene. I remember in Yakuza doing that a lot. Just in the middle of the cutscenes, I'm you know what? I just wanna look at Reddit for a second here. But how's Dragon Quest?
It's really good. That's a great game so far. I mean, it's beautiful. The graphics are amazing. And this is only the second Dragon Quest game I've ever really played, so I don't have a really a long tradition of playing this series like some people do, or a history of it. But so far, I'm really, really liking it. It's great. I'm not too far yet.
Did you ever play the Dragon Quest Monsters or Dragon Warrior Monsters games?
Oh, wait. You know what? I lied. This is my 3rd Dragon Quest game, if you don't count. First of all, I haven't played those games. I don't know what that is. But earlier this year, I played Dragon Quest Builders, but it's not really a normal Dragon Quest game.
Right, other than kind of learning the monsters.
Right, and the sound effects and the music. And the designs are all the same, obviously.
Dragon Quest Monsters was the DS version, and Dragon Warriors Monsters was the Game Boy version, but it was Pokemon.
Oh, well, that makes sense that you would have played it.
Yep. I like Pokemon mechanics.
What have you been playing?
I thought I was going to say... Oh, Dragon Quest, before I get to that. I have been, for the first time, really enjoying just sitting and watching you play Dragon Quest. I always want to like look over and for like 10 minutes check out what you're doing and kind of get the gist of something that you're playing. And like it's fun to watch you play the one before.
Trails of Cold Steel?
Yeah, but it was like for 5 minutes, look at it, kind of be like, oh, nice, and then check out. But this is the first one where I'm like, I want to watch everything you're doing. It feels like being a kid again, watching your friend play a game type thing. Did you ever do that, or did you need to like?
Yeah, we did, but usually I was the one playing the game.
Well, for me, we would pass the controller back and forth.
Yeah.
And like, you do this level, now you do this level, now you do this level, and not that we're doing that with this, but it feels like the same like. It's really enjoyable to watch. I love the way it looks.
It's a very dynamic game. So even when something's not a cutscene, it feels like everything's really purposely animated or chosen to how it looks. I don't know. It's really just beautiful to look at.
I think I'm going to get it when it comes to Switch because it's coming to Switch, right?
Right. Sometime in 2019.
So even though I'm watching you play it, I still don't really know what's going on because I'm not watching while I'm at work and you're playing and stuff like that. So I'm still, I'm not watching everything. So I still think it's going to be pretty fresh when I get to it.
Yeah,
And
I mean, there's a lot in the game.
it reminds me of Xenoblade, the way you can jump.
Oh, right,
Like,
yeah.
you can jump on stuff. Like I love in games when you get that freedom, even if it doesn't mean anything, but you can like jump up on a fence and off of it. Unlike I think Trails, where it's just like here's the linear path. Final Fantasy, here's the linear path.
Right, right.
Like that kind of thing. Not linear necessarily, but here's a wall. That's it. I've been playing Spider-Man. That's
How's
pretty
that?
much it. It's a web slinging, rootin' tootin' good time.
That game also looks very good.
Sort of. I mean, yes. In the grand
It's good to
scheme,
me.
in the grand scheme of video games, it looks very good. But like, the people don't look like the lips don't
The
look that
puddles
good.
aren't very big either.
Dude, the puddles are tiny.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't believe maybe we just made that joke.
Really tiny puddles.
It does not look bad. So when I say I don't think it looks that good, it doesn't mean I think it looks bad.
But it means you thought it was going to look better, maybe?
Yeah, God of War to me was like, how the fuck does it look this good? Even though, like, sure, you're gonna see some. I'm not just talking about like every once in a while you see like, oh, that's where they cut some corners.
Right.
This is also a much larger open world all at once. Whereas that, I get why it has some little blemishes, but like I just think the people look really kind of gross.
I mean, if you think about it, but I like that there are the amount of people that there are in the game because I find that a lot of cities in games, it's never enough. And we live in New York. So this takes place in New York, so it's important to me that it looks like New York,
Yes.
and it does. It really does. I think that's the best part of the game. From someone who I haven't had the chance to play it yet. I will eventually when I'm done with Dragon Quest, maybe.
Mechanics wise and AI and like population wise, all that is awesome. That's the best part about the game. And like once in a while, like swinging through Times Square at night, oh my God. Like when you just pass right through real quick, it looks amazing. But Peter Parker, like he's got kind of a weird lip thing, and like Miles, spoilers, sorry, I guess. But like I don't know. There's just like some weird. They need a little bit more
Right.
polish on the
I mean,
models.
I think that nowadays sometimes, like thinking about Last of Us and some of these games that are modeling people like so well that if you don't do it to that level, that it's almost disappointing now. It's
Right,
like,
which-
wait, this doesn't look like a person, but in animation form.
Right. It's like, and I don't even like graphics. I don't care if graphics aren't that good. So it's kind of interesting to me that I've noticed. I'm just noticing. I'm not complaining.
Right.
I'm just noticing. Like, oh, well, it doesn't. I really, really like that game. It feels like Spider-Man 2, 3.
Yeah, it looks fun. I'm excited to play it. Let's talk about Divinity.
Developed by Larian Studios and published also by Larian Studios on the PC. We're not even talking about the PC version. We're talking about the PS4 version.
Yeah, fuck that version. I don't even have one.
They self-published on Steam 1 year ago, September 14th. And then here we are, almost a year later, the Xbox One and PS4 versions came out in August. And those are actually published by Bandai.
So where's the Switch version, huh? That will never happen.
I don't think the PS4 can kind of barely
Yeah,
keep
we'll
up.
talk about that. There's some definite performance issues, which I wonder if they're going to later patch out.
But weren't we reading something that they actually were on the PC as well?
Oh, it was even worse on the PC.
Yeah.
The definitive edition was said to have, like, the biggest thing about that was performance issues. They improved a lot of things. And we really only run into a few things, really.
And
It's not very often or very annoying. It doesn't,
yeah.
prevent us from having fun or stop us. It doesn't we've had a game crash once, or was it twice? It was like in the beginning of the game, we had 2 crashes, I think.
Yeah, I think
close
you're
to
right.
each other.
But I'm glad that you point out it's not really an annoyance because it's a turn-based game. It just you kind of notice
Oh, right.
you kind of notice the slowdown, but it's not like ruining
Right, it
anything.
doesn't affect your performance of like playing.
Yeah. But Bandai Namco, once again, recurring theme here. Bandai Namco only makes good stuff. Now I've got 2 examples. That's it.
What was the last one?
Go Vacation.
Oh, right.
Where I famously quoted myself saying,
We recently tweeted out a Go Vacation video that Craig made set to the music of Jet Set Radio, and I think we fooled a bunch of people into
I'm
buying this
sorry.
game, buying that game thinking that it's Jet Set Radio like 3 or whatever.
I'm very sorry, guys. If you're listening to this because of that, that's really cool. Thanks for checking us out. I'm Craig. That's Grace. We like video games where we play games together. But
Go Vacation may not be what you're looking
Go
for.
Vacation's not the thing that you got. Like, our tweets aren't that popular. That doesn't bother me. This one was relatively popular.
Yeah.
And most people were like, holy fuck shit, I gotta buy this, and no one told me.
I'm going to GameStop right now. So someone's literally said, and I was like, I'm sorry.
I like kind of, cowered under the pillow.
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm
maybe
sorry.
they'll find a new fun experience. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll
They
be really
won't.
mad.
They won't at all.
Well, no one's tweeted at us yet saying, screw you guys.
You
so.
fucking bullshotted us. Like,
Right.
yeah. Okay, so what's the genre of Divinity Original Sin 2?
The genre is turn-based role-playing game.
Not turn-based when you're not fighting.
Right.
The turn-basedness.
Well, yeah. I don't think there's any games nowadays that aren't turn-based when you're not fighting. Like, you
Fire
explore
Emblem?
the world. That's true.
Pit people?
No,
Actually,
you can explore the world
You're right.
now.
You're right. Fair enough.
So there are a lot of games. Yeah, Fire Emblem is
But
strange.
this is a little different because,
I'm just
at
saying,
least-
as far as a Western RPG goes,
yeah,
but it's extremely meticulous in the exploring. It feels more like classic.
it's like Elder Scrolls, or to me, this is the most Dungeons and Dragons ass game I've ever played in the exploration sense and the like discovery of stuff and like, can you do this? Oh, yes, you can. Like playing with the mechanics of the game. Just quick example. There's if you play as like a skeleton character, people don't like to see undead.
Because you can be an undead of any race.
Yeah, and people don't like to see talking bones. So you have to put hoods or a bucket on your head to cover yourself so people don't see that you are talking
Right.
undead, I just think that's really cool. Or you can move there. Can you think of any real quick? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
there's lots
just
of
messing with
examples.
moving objects. Also, you can have telekinesis. So we've stolen random objects from far away like that before.
Yeah, or
Also, just teleporting around
Yes.
seems like you can sort of skip through trying to get somewhere. Like trying to find a path, you can just sort of like, I'm just gonna fly up the cliff, and it's not a big deal.
at a certain point, the game, you're doing a quest or mission, and the game gives you teleportation gloves.
Well, yes. I mean, you have to do that quest to get them. So, and you have to loot the crocodile. So it doesn't, I'm just saying, you saying the game gives it to you makes it sound easy to get.
No, sorry. I just mean these are like built in. We're not
Yeah.
cheesing something by teleport. Like it's like, hey, by the way, everybody can teleport. And then it teaches you how to use this by like taking you to a cliff, and you're looking down on a beach, and you're like, all right, go down there, and you just can.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind. Like it opened up like the way I have to think about getting places and doing things, and like that means there's hidden shit everywhere, and there is hidden shit everywhere, and.
Let's keep talking about
Sorry.
Wow.
Wow,
There's a lot to say. I mean, that's why there's 2 parts, so it's okay. But we gotta stay on track.
So, all right. Type of co-op: couch, online, split screen, same screen,
Both, all of these above.
all of the above.
Because you can do online and be on your own screen, but you can also do couch and be split screen. And then the split screen flips back and forth. So actually, you can at any time do just one screen, but you have to be in the same general area. And when we do fights, we just do the same screen. Mm-hmm. But when we're just like walking around, we do split screen.
When you're walking around, we could go to opposite ends of the map.
Right. Nothing stops you from just leaving your dude and never meeting up again. You can even fight on your own. You don't need your anyone in your party, because that's essentially how the co-op works. Is he's a character in my party who also controls a party member that we've recruited. It doesn't have to be like that. You can actually manage it so whoever's on whatever
myself.
side can manage however many people they want. There's
Yeah.
but you can up to 4. There's no more than 4.
And if you're playing online, you could have all 4 players be...
Is that true?
Yeah. I'm going to go grab the case. I was under the impression all 4 players could be a person, but we can't because you can only do split screen, not four. One down the middle, not.
Wait, what do you mean be a person? Oh yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, the
yeah,
whole
you can do
party
that.
can be real players.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Split screen with one disc, you can only do two, which that's fine. I mean, it would be really cool if people could come over and we could show them this game, like kind
It
of
would
give
just,
them a tour.
The fucking screen would be so crowded.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able. There'd be the mini map would be.
Really.
There's a lot of information too that you need because this is a PC-ass game. If you ask me, like, this feels like a PC game. I think they translated the controls well though.
I think it's very well done. And it's interesting because I saw someone complaining, I think it was Kotaku. They were saying, this is still obviously a very good game, but as someone who played the PC version, I find it annoying that you have to press triangle to get to your hotbar and then do the move. On the PC, you just clicked on the hotbar, which I understand. I played World of Warcraft. I played MMOs. I know how that works, but it doesn't bother me whatsoever doing that.
That's an interesting complaint because
they're just like, oh, it's annoying, but it's still fun.
if you're used to not, and then you come in and tell me I have to,
Right.
I guess I see where that complaint comes from. Like, we tried out MapleStory. The controls are just dumb. And so I was trying to ask, like, I had never played the first one. This is MapleStory 2.
This isn't just this is MapleStory 2, the Royale mode.
Right. But I think that it's probably going to control the same, right?
Probably mostly.
Most likely. But I was asking Grace, I was like, is this how the first one was? Like this weird thing, but the first is 2D, right?
Yeah, the first is 2D, so I don't remember, and probably it was slightly different because it was 2D.
But like the controls just were wrong. So I understand the idea of like, this isn't right.
Right.
You know, pressing triangle. So maybe if you're used to it, I don't know.
But it feels really natural to me. I don't have any
Yeah.
issues with it.
To get to like inventory, you hold the trigger and move the right stick on a radial dial.
Right, because you don't use your hotbar unless you're in combat. And when that's
Or-
only what you're doing in combat, so it's like you just like scroll over and find your thing.
Yeah, you never have to do any skills quickly because you can do your skills anytime.
Right, which helps. If it was you had to do them quickly and it was like a computer game and and you had to press triangle then do your thing, that would suck.
Yeah, like there's actually a bad guy, the witch, that fire witch.
Yeah.
I guess we said we wouldn't
yeah.
say too much spoilers, but there's a
That's not really a
You're
spoiler.
right.
That's like a side quest.
There's a character moving around quickly, and you can't initiate the fight the way we've been initiating fights.
And
we're
that
getting
doesn't
into
really
our
happen
experience.
with a lot of the other fights. Right.
But it was hard to catch because you can't do skills quickly.
Right. But, you know, we found a way around it, so.
But sorry, here I go again. I have a lot to say, and I enjoy talking about
And I
it.
enjoy saying these
And
things.
I enjoy saying things. Shared loot or XP?
There is shared EXP,
Mm-hmm.
no shared loot. You have your own loot, but there is a lot of it. That's never an issue.
Yeah, when she gets XP, I get XP.
Right. We get
But-
all the same XP no matter where we are on the map. So
If I open a chest,
I don't know if that works for fights though. It works like that for quests for sure. But we've never done a fight alone, so I don't know.
Yeah, we really haven't.
Well, I think I have once, but I don't remember.
But it hasn't happened enough to
Right,
be
to
like,
really
oh,
note it.
there's why it's offset.
I would imagine most of the time you're not doing that anyway, because it's just the fights are hard
The
and
fights
long, so you
are
don't want to do it alone anyway.
The fights are intense. But the loot is if I open the chest, now the chest is empty for her.
Right.
But if you're being good partners,
Yeah, we're
you're-
basically sharing everything.
yeah. And each party member has a role, so it's like, well, if this has strength, then most likely it's going to
Yeah, we basically, right.
friendly fire. Yes.
But it's hard to do.
But
you
I
have to
can-
really be targeting somebody.
You could either, yeah, if you're in combat and I select you, I can hurt you.
Yeah, and we do it a lot because we have a lot of AoE attacks. So, like,
And
if I cast a fireball and you're in the circle, then you get the damage. But
Right,
it's
which-
part and parcel of the game.
That feels real or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
That feels fair. But you can also outside of the game attack each other. It's
Sure.
just like we said, doing skills when you're in the real-time movement section, not very easy. So yeah, sometimes it's like, hey, you need to get some blood on this altar,
Oh, right.
And
Then you
so-
would hit each other, right?
but you would hopefully stand still for me,
Yeah,
get your blood all over the altar.
of course.
Is there things to unlock? Or sorry, first would be separate mode or full.
Full mode.
Full thing, the whole story mode.
It's
And
just
then
the same thing.
what are the other modes actually? Remember how?
I think they're just difficulty modes.
Okay.
Like tactical mode. I think it's just like changing difficulty up.
And progression, things to unlock.
Yes. I mean, the big thing is maps for us. It's like each act is a whole new map, and that unlocks a whole new area for us to explore, new quests. And then when you move on to the next map, you can never go back to the previous map, which is interesting. That's very unlike any RPG I've ever played. And I don't have a problem with it, actually. Not at all. I mean, I think it's an interesting practice in me not trying to worry about like missable things, because there is a ton of missable stuff. If you move on, you can never go back and complete those quests that you didn't do.
And it makes sure you know that by saying closed on the order log or the journal of quests you have
Oh,
to
well,
do,
closed means the quest is over.
but you didn't finish it.
No, oh, is that what it means?
Well, like if you kill a character you're supposed to deal with later,
Yeah,
they'll
it's
say closed and
right.
say like
because it'll
we
be
were not able.
archived if you finished it correctly
Right.
or finished it. There's no
Maybe
correct way.
maybe when you go to the next world, it actually wipes it clean. But still,
Yeah, it does.
It does rub it in your face when you can no longer do a thing.
Right.
You know.
Not really. You have to go look at it.
I'm just saying you'd be like, oh,
Right. You'll
damn,
know.
I screwed that up. And just like when it says like, hey, if you do this, if you leave now, you can't come back here. Like like, damn it,
Right.
I missed. But it doesn't. There's so much to do. Like I think is
It
what
doesn't
you were
even
saying.
matter. There's so many things
Yeah.
to do. So many quests.
Interruptive actions like auto screen changes or warping us around.
Not really, except for saving bothers him.
If she saves, so first of all,
I'm saving a lot. Okay.
This game is Save Scum, the video game.
Okay, I don't like calling it save scum because
that's
when I
what-
think of save scum, I think of like save states. You know,
Save
for
scumming is
ROMs.
when you save, you screw up, you reload your save, and that is how you play this game. And you're not going to convince me otherwise that anyone has played this game without doing that.
Well, I think yeah. I mean, an intense way to play would be not doing that. But
I think almost like a Nuzlocke
permadeath.
run.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be fun to do a stream of that because I think we die within like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe not a stream, but we could make a video series out of like whatever happens, happens. When I die, I'm done. Grace continues, you know.
I think it's yeah. I mean, once you know the game, you know a little bit of like where you're running into danger. But especially at the beginning, we were constantly just talking to the wrong people. Craig was constantly getting into trouble doing poker games he wasn't supposed to do.
Listen.
Fucking running into some evil dog. Like who knew? You know,
Listen,
I
I
always
think-
had to be reloaded.
Listen, I think I've turned it down. I've tuned
oh,
it down
definitely
a bit.
no, because we
But
understand how the game works.
I
now.
admit I ran myself into trouble quite a bit.
Yeah, it's funny.
But not on purpose. It was never like, this looks dangerous, I'm going to go in. It was like, oh, I'm going to talk to this guy sitting at a table. He'd be like, welcome, sit down, let's play poker. And then I'd pick like, you know,
There's
show
really
your
danger
hand.
everywhere in this game.
There really is. I'd pick,
doesn't even matter what you do.
Show my double flush royals. I don't play poker.
And then they would just start a
And then
fight.
he'd be like, "That's you cheated." Fight started. Like I didn't do it, and then she'd yell at
You'd,
me. I was
like,
like, "I
look at-
didn't do it."
You'd look at some child the wrong way, and next thing you knew, there's like 3 guards attacking you.
Yeah, or the child was a demon and a mind flayer, like
Or you
destroyed
pass the
him.
wrong guy, and all of a sudden we're in jail. It's like, come on, just let us be in peace, game.
So the reason that she brought that up as interruptive is when she would save, she'd hit start, and that wouldn't screw me up yet. When she hits X on quick save, everything pauses for a second. And if I have a skill out, like if I'm trying to aim where I'm about to teleport, it pops me back to not having the skill out.
It's like only really a very slight
It's a
second of an
it's probably a
inconvenience.
second or less of an inconvenience, but it's jarring when
Yeah.
you're. I'm not looking at your side of the screen because there's so much.
Right,
like,
I'm
damn,
not warning him. I'm not like I'm saving because I'm saving really like a lot.
lot.
So
like a lot.
if I didn't, and you know the annoying thing about reloading too is it takes a good 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
which is
And-
fine, but it's like when you're reloading a lot, like we have been, it's like oh my god, let me just get my phone out.
Being like a save scummy thing is not a knock against it at all. I actually really love it because in my Dungeons and Dragons example, if you turn down the wrong corner and get in a fight, hopefully your DM is gonna help you get out of it. Like you're gonna die, but okay, they see that you're gonna die, they'll get you out of it. This game is just gonna kill you. Like
Right, there's no
you're just going to die.
it's extremely merciless. This is a world that's like apocalyptic almost in its consequences and
Yeah.
how friendly the people are. No one cares. You're gonna die.
There's like no chance. If you get in a fight you can't win it. I mean,
You can flee.
I don't mean that to sound like
but we've never fled successfully from a battle.
There is a
we
skill-
just reload.
there is a skill that says
Yeah, flee.
flee no matter what, even if you're next to somebody. But we don't need to, because of the way we're playing, we don't need to flee. So I guess you could maybe use that skill and play that way,
Right.
but I just don't understand.
We just generally don't get into fights we can't win.
Or
The
we
end.
try the fight, we say, nope, let's not do this, then we mark the map because it has
Right.
custom mark.
Which is really cool, by
I
the way.
love that feature.
The custom markers on the map. That's great. A great idea. You need
Okay.
it.
We gotta let's just rifle through these factors and
This
then
is
get
your
back.
fault.
I know. Hey, it's first conversation. That's the point of these factors.
All right, go.
Playing with random people online, we did not.
You can, though.
You can. Random?
I don't know. I'm pretty
That would
sure.
be quite an experience.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be kind of funny.
Difficulty of the co-op.
Very difficult. I'm just going to say.
Very intense, But I don't know if difficult is the right word.
This is a difficult co-op game, okay?
Oh,
This is a difficult
it brings out the
co-op
worst in us.
because I genuinely think this is difficult to play cooperatively with other people. I don't think
You're
it's just
right.
us. I
You're
think
right.
that we have good communication, but I think this game really tests like how well you're going to play together with the game and make decisions. You constantly have to be making decisions together that have a lot of consequences. That makes this very difficult cooperatively.
And we play games slightly differently.
We do. Everyone plays game. Yeah, and I think that's how everyone would be.
Yes.
So
Right.
but,
So you're right.
Yeah.
Because their tension would rise. I would want to go explore every nook and cranny of the map just to get the map open. Like, I just want to know, like, there's a troll here we can't fight. There's a harbinger of doom here we can't fight. There's a chest down here that we need to unlock later. We can't get to it yet. I found this here. I found that. That's what I like to do. And then for Grace, I feel like you want to do this thing that we can definitely do, then move on to the next thing we can
Right.
definitely do, then move. And there's nothing wrong with either of the ways we do it, but like, I'll be out getting attacked by monstrous plants I can't fight.
Right.
And I'm screwing up you or screwing up a thing, or then like you're pulling us into,
Or just one of us keeps doing something that's getting us killed, so we have to keep reloading. It's just that becomes really frustrating sometimes. Where if you were playing alone, you have no one else to blame but yourself. So it's
Right.
like that's difficult.
competitiveness of the co-op. I don't think there's
It's
any.
a little competitive if you want it to be. Well, actually,
there's-
this game may become more competitive considering the story.
We have a hunch, and this is
and this
spoilers because
becomes
this is just a
pretty
hunch.
early on in the game, but you're a god you're trying to work to become a god.
Yeah.
And you're battling with everyone else who's also working to become a god, and that includes all your party members. So the game seems to be telling us right now only one of us can become a god, but me and Craig are still debating whether this is true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's going to go a way out sort of ending wise. We're going to either have to kill each other or come to an agreement of you're going to get to ascend to godhood or not.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of the game, we can decide the next one. We can decide how competitive this was. Really.
Yeah, but there's no score. You're not
right.
So, but you're
Except
right
your
about.
gold or your inventory. I guess you could count. I got a lot of gold. I got more gold than you, man.
I don't count
No, that's
that.
not a score. You're right.
That could
We're a
cause
party.
tension with a different group of players, though.
Yeah, we don't have tension when it comes to loot. I imagine that, like I'm saying, this is difficult cooperatively for that. Also, that reason.
There's probably a lot of factors that could be difficult for different groups of
Right.
players depending on.
You think about World of Warcraft, like that's a perfect example of like shit goes down in guilds and
Like
parties
loot- like
because of
ninja
loot.
looters and,
right?
like,
Because
yeah.
of loot. And so I feel this game's a great example. You could totally ninja loot.
Yeah.
You just go run up really quick and search and get the stuff that no one can do anything about. That there's no rolling. I wonder if they could implement that, or if that's
Or
an
if
option.
it is in there, maybe
Yeah,
if
right.
you're online. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely put it in because I feel like there's like so much good loot.
It might be even harder if we were doing split screen. Or sorry, if we weren't doing split screen, because then I would have really no idea what you were doing. Like, I
Right.
generally don't know what you're doing if you're not telling me,
That
because
might
I'm
be more
so,
interesting a way to play almost.
Like, I wouldn't tell you I found this teleport.
Right,
You know,
right,
like-
right.
Like, these
Yeah.
gloves of teleportation, I'm not going to tell you.
That might be more competitive in some ways. And I think the game almost wants you to play like that sometimes because of the way it's trying to pit us against each other
Yeah.
when it comes to being a god.
Now, potentially, this is a long-running series. This is not... Divinity Original Sin 2 is clearly only the second of the Original Sin games. But Divinity as a property has been around for, like, I think 20 years. Remember when I looked it up? I forget how long. It's been around for a while as an RPG series. So maybe we're just noobs and, like, all Divinity... like.
We're just giving our opinion on this game, okay?
Right. No, but I mean, like, maybe everyone who plays Divinity games knows, like, you always become a god and fight each other. Like,
Right,
that's
right.
the thing.
Well,
We are completely new to this franchise.
that's true.
And lastly, the factor and the most important factor, so we might just loop it in. The most important factor when talking about this game, I mean, strategy and tactics,
Yes.
lots of them. So let's just say yes, and you'll hear about all kinds of things as we talk about our experience.
Right.
So, experience time, what do you think so far? Because
So
it's part
far,
one.
I think it's it's complicated. I think it's really fun, but
Interesting. It's complicated.
yeah, I just think it's a lot. It's it's the opposite of Go Vacation. This is on the other end of the spectrum of this is not a chill and relaxing game, although it is fun and I look forward to playing it every time because there's always exciting new things to do. But it's extremely stressful at times. The fights can be stressful, not in a bad way. It's fun to do the combat, but it's like there's so much. It feels like the prices to pay are so high. The stakes are very high. That's what I mean. The stakes are always high in this game.
The stakes are always high.
Yes.
When I was trying to explain what I'm loving about this game, to somebody, I was pantomiming, like pulling my hair out, like, oh, what do I do? Like, how am I fighting this thing? Am I doing it wrong? Like,
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of options.
you're experiencing these wild battles and crazy creatures doing skills you didn't know they could do, and you're just like, oh God! And it's very intense, but very fun.
I mean, I feel like this game is not for everyone. I feel like it's a little bit masochistic sometimes.
But all in a good way.
It's very fun. And I think when you first start out, like, you immediately feel that. You're like, it really opens itself up to you as, like, you can look through a million things. And
Like,
there's so much loot and so much to do. There's a whole crafting system we barely even touch.
I've touched it more, and I don't feel like I know anything about it.
Yeah,
like,
I have,
got
like,
kind
all
of
these,
into
like-
it for a second, and I still am like, well, I don't know what to... My inventory currently is full of just things I think might be crafting
Yeah,
materials.
same.
Like,
I have junk.
Plants and cups of blood and skulls and souls. I got a tormented soul.
Right.
All kinds of things that I'm like, maybe I'll need this later. Or maybe we're just completely bypassing something cool.
I mean, probably, but I think that gives the game more reason to be replayed. I mean, I kind of want to replay it eventually as a solo experience to see what it would be like.
Yeah, and
'Cause I feel like it'd be very different. But I like it a lot as a co-op experience. It's very fascinating. Like I said, it's difficult, but there's a lot of moments of like very high satisfaction. Like
very
when we
rewarding when you beat a boss, or not
when
a boss.
you solve
Sorry,
a puzzle. When we solve puzzles together, that's really fun to me.
we've solved multiples now by getting good old fashioned pen and paper, and figuring out, like, there was a puzzle, maybe like think of a chessboard, and we have to stand in certain spots, or more like Minesweeper, right?
Yeah, it is
Remember
like
that puzzle?
Minesweeper.
So if two people, it's gonna be hard to explain, but if two
Right.
people are standing in a certain spot, it makes this number 2
We're
here.
basically trying to make a specific Minesweeper setup, like
Yeah.
look, and it was, and yeah,
It was too hard to just do on the screen with the information that you
Right.
can see. Especially the camera's not wonderful in this game.
I think it's fine.
It's totally
just
fine, but
it's top down, far away. You know, your characters are small on the screen, which
Yeah.
is how it should be
And then-
considering what kind of game it is. But yeah, it's hard to see all the time.
it looks like Diablo in a
Right.
way,
Yes.
or Path of Exile. Like, if you were just looking at screenshots of this game, I don't think you would know what the fuck it was. Because
I would.
I didn't.
He says a lot that he doesn't know what this game was. I knew what this game was.
You knew it was turn-based, on not a grid, on fire could start, and like
I didn't
you
know
knew
those
about all
specifics,
these,
but I
like,
had this like vibe, man. Like
I
I
was
knew
like-
what this game was.
I
at
read,
heart.
I read the description. It says turn-based, but I look at the screenshots. I was like, that's Diablo. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know.
That was the big confusion for you that it was turn based. That was the big thing.
Not that it was
for you.
turn-based. I didn't know. Yeah, sort of, because I
Okay.
didn't know that it would flow seamlessly into turn-based combat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you piss somebody off and they start a fight with you, it says boom boom fight, and then
Battle start.
and then you have initiative, just like D&D. That's what I think. Another thing that I keep comparing to D&D is it's like you're free to do whatever when you run around, but in combat there are strict rules to who can go when and how many actions they can take.
Right, you have action points. The combat's really fun and extremely creative what you can do, and you
Mm-hmm.
can use the environment to your advantage in like a really intense way that really lets you cheese a lot of things, or not just I mean, you're doing what the game wants you to do a lot of the time, I think.
I think the cheesiness, not cheesy like puppets, but I think the
Our
cheesing.
puppet's cheesy.
Puppets are very cheesy.
All right, I guess.
I think that cheesing enemies is like actually super fun and rewarding, and
Yeah, I think that's part of the
I don't know.
the goofiness. The game has a very like it's funny because this game is very dark, like as far as story and consequences, but it's also lighthearted and funny and really goofy sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you can do weird crap a lot.
There's like, yeah, it's hard to
We
put
did
into
this
words.
one battle where we just stood on this cliff above a dock in a graveyard. We were in the graveyard, they were on the dock, and it was like an intense boss battle, and we just cheesed it by having Craig summon a little imp and run into a building and drag them out one by one, and then just like fireballs at them from very high up, so the battle wouldn't start because we were too far away.
It would not drag our characters in,
Right.
but my pet would get dragged
No
in.
one could fight us.
So all the bad guys aren't moving because they're stuck in turn-based mode.
Right, so
but we're in
yeah.
free range mode, so we're just throwing fireballs at the ground while they're
The fact that
waiting
you
for
can,
me to take my turn. In
right.
quotes.
The fact that you can do attacks while not in battle mode lets you do a lot of funny shit.
And or even teleporting allows you to get places that you maybe shouldn't get to get advantage right in the beginning of the fight. Or
Yeah, right.
the way we open almost every fight is I pull out this move that shoots spikes up through the ground and leaves oil in it's an AoE attack. spikes up through the ground, and then a patch of oil. And at the same exact time, we say 1, 2, 3, go.
I do a fireball. My mage does a fireball. What was I
Grace-
supposed to say? He
well,
just
I don't
pointed
know.
at me like he expected some really big thing from me. I was like,
I thought it was
a
gonna be more.
fireball.
I thought it was gonna be more.
Oh, excuse me. He wants me to pantomime it.
no.
A big old fireball bursts from my hands.
Out of the tip of my staff, the staff of Magus.
No, that's just the name of the
I know,
move.
but Magus is a name to me.
It just means like magic.
I know, but it always says staff of Magus attack, and I'm like, that's some guy named Magus gave you a staff.
Anyway,
Anyways, so then that fire hits my oil, that starts fire, which it does a large amount of damage sort of to the guy we're about to fight, and then it knocks us into the fight. So we open the fight
with an attack so that
With an
we can
attack.
start like on the advantage of having how much health they have down.
like a little bit of armor, a little bit of health, and they're on fire.
What's cool about this game is that when you start the game, you create a character, but not only can you make a custom character of any species and class, I have air quotes because class seems to mean nothing in this game. You can kind of do whatever you want, which is also really cool. Anyways, so besides custom characters, there are characters with lore and story, which then you can play out through the game. So I did a character with lore, Sibyl, which is the elf character, who was a slave, and now she's trying to hunt down her master, okay? And Craig made a custom character, and we called him Marrow.
Well, originally I was gonna be Sebel's undead. Like she
Companion.
raised me, as we were gonna role play this. Like she raised
Right.
me from the dead to be her helper to kill her slave master or whatever it was. But then as I spent fucking 40 minutes building this character that was a skeleton, and then when you start, it says like, hey, just so you know, playing as an undead character is a little different and it's kind of like hard mode, sorta.
I don't know, because
Now
they're healed by poison. So I guess if we had done it, now that we know how the game works, I
Yes.
feel like it wasn't the right way to start, because you can't heal that character traditionally. So we've probably been really confused, but you can heal undead through poison damage.
We made the right choice,
Right.
but
But having an undead character would have been really cool, because some of their
Yeah.
species and races have different like benefits outside of combat. He can pick lock with their fingers, which is really
so you
a
don't need
really
lockpicks.
funny thing to put in the right. And also
And-
they can live through death fog, which kills every other character.
And now so we named it Marrow, and then
Right,
like
that
bone
ended up
marrow.
being the
But then
human
like,
character.
oh, I don't want to be a skeleton, so
I like that
I'm
name,
Marrow,
though.
the human. I
Marrow
am a
Esquire.
Marrow. He didn't get Esquire until later.
Oh, excuse me.
I use bows and arrows, and I'm a summoner.
Yes.
And then Sebel is
I made Sibyl. I think traditionally she's supposed to be like a rogue,
Yeah.
or assassin, which makes sense. But I turned her into a two-handed, like heavy duty damage dealer.
you can totally change
Right.
class at any time.
Which I love.
yes, it grew on me.
You can respec anything for no cost at any time. And
Which-
I really like that, because I don't think, because games like this, it's usually you can't, and it's like really stressful, like, oh my god, what do I put points in? Especially when it's a game like this, it's so intense about what skills you know and like setting up your combat. When you're first getting to know the game, we messed up. And so it was nice to be able to respec, and we really fixed our characters, and now combat's much more fun.
And we were able to round out their classes. Like we were able to
Right.
be like, okay, listen, you need to learn some pyro stuff. Like I need to learn more, whatever. You were able to figure out like, crap, I need to adjust this, change this.
So our
and
other
it's
two,
free.
yeah.
Then as you're playing the story mode, you can pick up 2 companions if you want, but they are the characters.
They're the other lore
other-
characters that you could have started as.
So who'd you pick?
So at first I picked the Red Prince, which is the lizard man. And then due to complications of us not understanding the game, because basically when you pick up these people and they're like, okay, we'll join you, you tell them what you want them to be, and you can't take that back. And now that I realize we could have just respect them, it wouldn't have fucking mattered. But we were in the beginning of the game where it takes a while to get to that point, so anyway, I dropped the lizard and went for the mage girl. I can never say
Lose.
Lose, right?
But we just call her Los.
Yeah, because
we forget that it's
her
Lose.
name. So we made her a mage. She's a pyro cleric, so she does a lot of fire damage. Fire slug, love the fire slug. Summons that fire slug. Also heals. And then who did you get?
So I picked up Ethan or Ephraim.
But that was after you wanted your undead friend.
Oh,
and we
originally-
had to dump him too.
Yeah, I picked up the skeleton guy. I was like, well, if I can't be a skeleton, I'm gonna at least hang out with one.
What's his name again?
Fane.
That's right.
And his quest. So all the characters you pick up have a personal quest that you can
That's another reason to
help go on.
replay, because you could go pick the other characters and see what their quests are like.
Yeah, I think it would actually be fun to do a lizard, a skeleton, and play a skeleton.
Yeah.
And like the game's gonna be relatively different.
I would say very different
in
with
like
the
what you're
skeleton.
able to do,
Right.
skills wise and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I ended up with just kind of your basic like knight guy. Well, I think he's a lone wolf mercenary guy. We've turned him into a tank. His name is Ethan Ben
Ethan.
Mendez, but we call him Ephraim because we're
I called him
stupid.
Ephraim for a while because I didn't know his name. Now I'm calling him Ethan because I
still-
honestly didn't read it right.
I still say Ephraim because I don't care about reading.
And they all have personalities, and you can talk to them. Craig has even started a romance with his, so Marrow and Ethan are in a gay relationship. But Ethan's also kind of a dick, so it's like
It's
who
fun. That's what
knows?
I like. He's like tsundere, right? Like
Right.
he's like rough and tough, but like I've seen his dick.
But
you
like
know?
you guys kissed.
Yeah.
That was a crazy moment.
Yeah.
I was like, what's happening? I
There's
didn't
a
know you
lot
could have a
of
relationship in this game.
Crazy moments of just like little things like what? Like cows that turned into people and talking to animals.
Oh,
and
talking animals is really great.
since Marrow is a summoner, that's kind of the class I like to play in games. I want to be a summoner or a healer. And then in this case, I was kind of both at first, but then I became more of an archer summoner. But I will say, for being a class called summoner, you can only summon one little bastard.
And totems.
Totems that are like turrets,
Yeah.
and a little imp guy. I don't know if he's an imp technically in their lore,
One
but
little
he's a little
bastard.
shit. Like he's like just a little like.
That's so
And-
mean.
If I had known that summoner class, now I can just change it like we said, but at this point I don't care. But if I had known that summoner class wasn't going to get you the coolest summons and that Ethan was going to have summon a massive giant cool ass flower and summon a wolf, and you were going to get summon fire slug, and you also have a girl who can summon a bone spider.
But I think you could make a character that has high summon ability, which affects those, by the way. The bone
Okay.
spider's damage
So
is
you
affected
could-
by your summoner skill. So you could put like 2, 2, 2, and like 8. 8 points in summoning, and then have the summon skill from every class.
Fair enough.
So,
But I
it's
just,
not, yeah.
I thought I was gonna be picking like I want a bear this time, I
Right.
want a goat this time. Hell, give me a like little gumdrop creature, like. But instead, you have one option. But you're right, and like I said, we could just fix all this. So this isn't a complaint.
Yeah, but I understand that confusion of
When
like
I-
you'd think the summoning like skills would be all the ones that you
Yeah,
can summon, because polymorph does a good job of like there's the polymorph class and skills. You can have spider legs on your back, you can fly, you can turn into a Medusa head, and you can turn into a bull head. There's a lot going
What's
on.
cool is when you cast the spells, it lasts like what, maybe 4 turns.
Yeah.
And then you get the wings or
Yeah.
you get the horns. Like
It's cool.
I like
I
that.
like the polymorph stuff.
They do a lot of cool things where most games don't do this, and I was struggling to figure out how to explain this. So let me know if you don't get what I'm saying. But not enough games utilize game mechanics to tell the story. So Ethan can summon a wolf in battle. He has the skill to summon a wolf, or anytime I can just
His
summon a wolf.
soul wolf.
It's his soul wolf. Well, most games you'd be like, that's the ability he has in battle, use it, thanks. In this, I was just talking to him and I pissed him off or something. I mentioned something that got him heated, and just in a conversation he was like, "Rah!" and his wolf popped out. Now there's no reason for this except it builds the character up.
Yeah.
It builds the lore. It shows like, hey, these mechanics have real weight to them or something. Like I wish more games would do stuff like that. Like they took away your ability to talk to animals for a second. Like
Yeah.
they took their game mechanics and used them to tell a story, whereas most games would be like, here's your storytelling section. Here's your gameplay section.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
things like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just really like that he just for no reason brought his wolf out. It led to nothing. It wasn't like, now other wolves heard him and came attacked us. It wasn't a story bit. It was just lore building. I really loved that. And I think more games should try to do stuff like that.
Yeah, and stuff like being able to attack whoever you want, and that changing the story and like having consequences. I mean, was that sort of like how it is in the Elder Scrolls games?
Morrowind, you could kill absolutely everybody. Eventually, I'm pretty sure it worked out to like you could not kill the very important ones.
Yeah, I think you could actually kill almost anyone in this game. I feel
Yeah,
like the
I
game
think
will
you
let you
kill
just not
everybody.
continue.
Yes,
The
yes.
game will be like, well, fuck you. You're. I mean, I'm sure some characters you wouldn't be able to kill because they'd be too strong, like Malady, like the
Yeah.
demon lady that we're with. But yeah.
But I just really love that, and it doesn't even have to be taking abilities away, or you. It's just the characters using the abilities in the same exact way that I use the abilities. I hate in cutscenes in games when characters do shit they can't do. Like you ever like
I don't
this
think about that, but yeah,
this
it's
hasn't
true.
happened, but like imagine if you're playing Spider-Man and he like webs up a skateboard and starts skating on a web skateboard. It's like you can't do that. Like
Wish you could.
you know, it's like
Right.
you can't just have a power here and not have it later. So I love that they're like, well, you have the power here, so why can't we use it here?
Right.
You know, that's really cool. There's a lot of really cool little touches. This game is
A lot of little details.
Yeah.
There's so many little details, so many ways you can finish and start quests. There's no there's nothing telling you where quests are, which I actually kind of like because you really have to search. You have to talk to everybody. At first, I was like, that's annoying, but I really just kind of let it. I let my I let myself like relax as far as my perfectionist tendencies go, and I was like, okay, whoever I talk to, if I get a quest, I get a quest. If I miss it, I miss it. I'm over it at this point.
that's the great. I really like knowing there's so much to do. You're not possibly going to be able to do it all.
Or
Someone
you
probably could.
I mean, you can.
But you don't have to. It doesn't
don't have
feel
to. It
like
doesn't
a
matter.
checkbox.
Yeah.
You're fine. I will say I wish at least maybe story missions gave you just kind of a little hint of the suggested level.
Oh yeah, me too. Because we especially at the beginning and
Beginning
in
of
Act 2
Act 2, Reaper's Coast specifically.
and Act 1 though, because we were also that was because we were struggling to understand the combat, the game, the character builds. This game has a fucking steep difficulty curve.
It's not a curve, it's a spike.
It's just once you understand how the combat works, once you build your character up and level up, you get it. But even at the beginning of Act 2, we were struggling to find places we could actually win the battles. Because, like he's saying, there's no suggested levels to any of the quests, to the areas. You just run around, and, like, you can see what level people are, but it was hard for us to find where we had to go first, you know?
I don't really remember it happening in the beginning of the game, but maybe I was wrapping that all into still learning.
Right.
But in Act 2, Reaper's Coast, like, we had a hand on the game. Like, we were cruising through the end of Act 1.
Yes.
We eventually became powerful and we were wiping out enemies relatively quickly, not easily, but I felt like we got it. We're doing it. I really feel like it just hits a wall. It's just, oh, here you are, this new place, and you actually can't go anywhere. I mean, you can go everywhere. But anywhere you go, you're going to be fighting things that just dominate you. So I just wish that there was like just a slight carrot on the stick or whatever. That's a bad example because there's carrots everywhere. But,
Right.
you know, a slight arrow, like just do this one now, you know.
Right.
Maybe not for everything. Like maybe side quests, just ignore that because that's up to you to figure out. And do you have a sense of what's a side quest and what's a story quest?
Yes. Almost 99% of things are side quests in this
Right.
game.
So that's
The
maybe
story
that's why.
quest is Chapter 4. We are trying to find the Well of Ascension.
Is
so
it called
everything
chapter
leading,
or something?
Yeah, it's in the chronicles rather than the quest log. But I think in the quest log, there's also part of our main story quest that you can look at. But the thing about this game is like, yeah, really, there's only like one thing you have to do to continue, and everything else just kind of is around it.
And I think it's cool because it sort of makes it feel like the side stuff. A combination of the two things of A, you don't got to do everything, and B, it's kind of hard to tell what's supposed to be done and what's not. You end up forming your own story.
Yeah.
And I really like that. You end up like, well, we did this and that led to us doing this, which led to us doing this. And someone else is going to have a totally different path because they'll have done a different quest first, or they'll have not ignored a quest or something.
Right.
And that's really cool. I'm still infatuated with this thing. Like I'm still eager to get home. We're at over 100 hours
Yes.
playtime. It's been out for 2 weeks. Like we don't do that. Like neither of us really. We play games for long amounts. Like she plays RPGs, and I do too. Also, like I have Persona and Xenoblade. Like we will play games that last a long time. But I feel this is the first like I've been excited to get home.
Yeah, this is
Can't
also
stop thinking about it.
after we got the game. It was Labor Day weekend, and I stayed up later than I have in probably years, like till 4 a.m. playing the game, which I haven't done in a very long time.
And it's
And we had played all day, so we played
And-
12 hours straight.
we'll put it out there. That's probably part of why we got a little hostile, a little testy sometimes.
Yeah,
we're
sometimes
playing,
we play the game too late.
We're playing too late, too much. We didn't do anything else. We didn't eat right.
Eating crappy like frozen.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
like we
that was
gotta get
good
a frozen pizza. Yeah, that was very good
Amy's was
frozen.
good. I think we talked about that last episode. I want to get another one.
I don't know. I'm really.
And I think we'll have more to say next episode about it too, more in detail
I
about
would
the story
yeah.
and our journey. But I think this is a good place to like give you an idea of what we've been doing, what we've been liking, what we've thought of it so far.
I think it was great that what you said was it's not for everybody, basically.
No, it's
This
really
is
not.
not for everybody. So it's hard to suggest, but if you like
RPGs at all, I would definitely give it a try. If you're
Yeah.
like me and you play RPGs and it's fun and you like a long game and you like a lot of stuff to do, then you should do it.
and the turn-basedness makes it slightly more accessible, in my opinion.
It's a good middle ground for me and Craig because I'll play any RPG, he won't. So like it's a good middle ground of I love fantasy, I love RPGs, I love stuff, and Craig likes.
I like to explore. The things I look for in games is exploration
There's a lot of that
and
for
loot.
sure.
And
Yeah,
this game,
right.
Where we got the first, what did we get up on that tower?
What tower?
So we came
got
across
the-
a tower
Yeah, no, I know
early
what you're talking about.
in Act 1? I
Yeah,
think so.
that was in Act
And we
1.
had just gotten the teleporter gloves, and our mage Lose had them. And I was like, this tower's here.
There was like
there's
electricity on the top of it.
Yeah, and you kind of couldn't see it, and there's no stairs, there's no doors, there's no vines to climb. At this point, we're not used to that you can teleport yet. So I was like, wait a minute. Teleport me up there. And she drops me up there, and it's just lightning killing me, and I'm just quickly grabbing stuff off dead bodies that are up there. And we come down, and there's like some pretty good gear. I don't remember the gear exactly.
Well, one of them was
it
a
the tyrant?
piece of the tyrant.
So then that led us on a quest for the rest of the tyrant gear.
Yeah.
Ooh, which reminds me,
of the wit thing.
one of them.
So the one annoying thing about this game that I will say, and then we should probably wrap it up, is that there's this one of your stats is wit, and it's the most fucking annoying stat because the only thing it affects is your luck finding loot.
It's perception.
There's something else,
But it's like a perception stat.
It
Of just like,
essentially is perception.
do you see this lever or not?
Do you see this mound of dirt or not? So I have one of our characters have higher than normal, but even then we are constantly missing things because we don't have high enough wit, and we don't know if we're gonna have it or not, and we don't know whether we should have it at a certain point. We're just like lost and we don't know what to do. We can't find a thing, and we're like, is this a wit thing? I don't know, maybe we just have to go somewhere else. That's annoying.
So we got set off on our own personal quest to find the rest of the tyrant armor set, and we couldn't find one. We're about to leave Act 1, and like we said, it warns you, hey, you're gonna be done here. I was like,
So we just
we
Googled
just
it,
need to Google it because I
Yeah.
just want to know.
which we really try hard not to do.
Which I like. I'm enjoying
Yeah.
I'm enjoying trying to solve it. But this thing, I don't know how you could have figured this out. There's like a random statue in a random temple that you just have to have high wits and you interact
it.
with, and it's
Yeah.
like you found a thing behind it. Like, what?
I just wish there was some sort of sparkle or glimmer that basically says you need wit, but you don't have high enough wit.
Yeah, or
Because persuasion will be that way.
what about even a journal entry like that you
Right.
find on the ground
Something
that says like,
story-wise.
I thought I left my gloves around here. Something.
And some of them are like that, but
There's a
most
lot
of
of
them, yeah.
There's a lot of journal entries, which is really cool. Stuff, not journal entries, but things like that, like text clues.
I like that the text clues aren't fucking a novel. I like that the
Yep.
text things are just like 3 pages.
I've seen the
a couple
longest one is
sentences.
3 pages. Most are 1.5.
And I never thought about it before this game, but I really appreciate that in a game like this because I never want to read a fucking page in a game. I just want to read a couple sentences. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like
now I
that's
have
great. That's
this-
the perfect amount of text.
Right, like I now understand your holiday.
Right.
I don't
Or-
know the ins and outs
Or
of
I
it.
got a little bit of a clue to this quest.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, Lucian's Day is coming.
right.
I don't know what that means, but clearly it's coming, and
But you'll
people
read
keep
it
referencing
because it was
it.
only 3 short little like mini pages.
Yeah, I read all of the books we find because you'll also potentially unlock new quests or unlock skills
Or recipes.
Recipes for
Yeah.
crafting. Let's wrap it up, like you said.
Yeah,
This is part
yeah.
1.
There's a lot to talk about.
What's your score currently, or should we actually skip that?
I think we should skip the score.
Okay, I think you can kind of guess.
Hi.
So let's just run through. I've got 4 stories real quick.
Okay.
I'm still trying to process what this section could be called. We always call it news, but it's more like
It's news. Updates.
It's more like, all right.
Co-op updates.
co-op dates.
Co-op dates.
For now, we're gonna go with co-op dates.
I have the biggest smile on my face right now. I love co-op dates.
Absolver. Remember the game Absolver I played a little bit of?
Yes.
It's like a martial arts, Dark Souls fighting game, sort of. Grace is playing Pokemon Go while we record. I just looked over and there's a Shelder on our screen. Now, this is the greatest turn of events.
Out me?
Because the story arc of Pokemon Go with this podcast, if you go back to episode 1, I'm like, I love Pokemon Go. And you're like, the game is for nerds. And now, here you are playing while I'm trying to do work.
Okay, go.
Anyways, Absolver is adding, it was always co-op because you could connect to each other's games and just fight together. But it's adding
teams?
A new Downfall game mode, which I think is kind of like a rogue-like type thing you can run through, and you can do it together in a group. Like, it's like, hey, now you can actually group together.
Would you try that?
Maybe. I like that game. I have not played enough of it to fully know.
Okay.
I would.
Like, if your friend had it, though. It doesn't look like a game I like at all. That's that weird fighty one, right?
Yeah, and there also the new DLC is adding some like new gear and everything, and new weapons, and a fighting style that's kind of like Bruce Lee, which is intriguing to me. Jeet Kune Do style stuff. Dungeon Defenders 2, which is a game we have played a little bit of, and we're going to do an episode on eventually.
We are.
Is now rewarding you for co-op play.
We will get back. We want to replay it. Yeah.
If you play together as a 2, 3, or 4 players, you have more legendaries guaranteed at the end of rounds. X amount of extra XP is gained.
Dude, I like that game.
Yeah, that's a fun game. I think this is only in like arcade mode. I don't know what to call it. It's been a while.
Mode?
It's not the campaign mode or the adventure mode. It's the just playing some rounds to get better gear.
Yeah.
But hey, that's cool.
Better than nothing.
It encourages you to play with people.
Right.
And I don't know. You'll hear more about our thoughts on that game later, but that's cool. Prison Architect, only on PC. I mean, the game is on a lot of things now, but only for PC, they're adding co-op.
Oh my god.
I didn't watch the video yet. The producers made a video about it. I don't know if I need to build a prison together, though. I just, like...
If you build a prison together, you stay together.
Yeah. Because you're locked, because you're confined. I don't...
That sounds like a weird co-op mode.
That doesn't, yeah.
But I know they added their DLC that was, like, not building prisons and trying to escape one. So maybe it's, like, a way out. Maybe that's the co-op.
I'm pretty sure it's co-op building and not one person escapes, one person builds. Which maybe it is. Maybe I'm completely wrong because, like I said, I didn't watch the video, but that sounds not
I was
interesting.
saying both people escape.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. But I think it's building, which I don't know, like, hey, you go build the prison bathrooms. I'll build the prison gym.
It's interesting. I would like to try, considering I've never done anything like that.
Yeah. This game for me, now.
Dude, you know what game I want to play co-op? Speaking of co-op building, Sims 2 on the GameCube. I really want to get that game and review it because, man, that was one of my favorite co-op games.
We got the Wii.
I want to do like...
We need 2 GameCube controllers,
Did you put this on the news about Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles?
No, that's a good one. I didn't think of putting it on it.
Yeah. The Nintendo Direct was last week. And one of the games I played as a kid with my friends and my little brother, we played Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube. And if you know this game, a lot of people didn't play it because you needed the GameCube, 4 Game Boy connecting cords, and 4 Game Boys to play it. It was ridiculous. Why did they do this?
And weren't you telling me? So that sounds daunting or tedious or whatever.
But it's not. And now it's going to be on Switch. That's the news.
Also, doesn't one character have to carry like a lamp?
Yes, so it's Final Fantasy. It takes place in a world where you need myrrh to like survive because the world is like completely poisoned. Anyway, you have to like carry this like vial of myrrh, this chalice.
Is myrrh a word?
Yes, MYHRR.
Is it a Final Fantasy word?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I thought when I said myrrh, you looked at me like, how do you not know what myrrh is?
How do you not know what the myrrh is?
Yeah, okay, I was like, oh.
One character has to carry it around, and if you leave the circle of the myrrh, you'll start dying.
That just sounds...
But I really want to try it because I love the idea of trying like nostalgic co-op games from my past. Because when I was a kid growing up, co-op was like a huge thing. We played, another good game, Shrek 2, dude.
Shrek 2, dude?
Was it Shrek? No. I said dude.
No,
Shrek 2.
I thought it was called Shrek 2, dude. Like, I could see Shrek surfing.
Shrek 2 was one we
Surf's
played.
Up. Remember the movie Surf's Up?
Anyway, Shrek 2's not coming to Switch, but Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is. Yeah, Surf's Up was a bad movie. Is that the one with the penguins?
All I know is Chicken Joe is my man. I would hang out with Chicken Joe all the time.
I didn't like that one. All right, that was...
Crystal Chronicles. No, there's one more. You added that one. That doesn't sound fun. I'm sorry.
We're gonna play it.
Okay, we'll play it.
Because I love the idea.
Yeah,
of going
I'm down to
back.
play. I'm interested in playing it.
Do you have co-op games from your childhood you'd like to revisit? I think that'd be an interesting thing to do.
We should definitely. Gauntlet Legends is one of them.
Oh,
but also
we should play that again because it's on the Xbox, isn't it?
That's
a
whoa.
different
Wait,
one?
what? You mean the one that we've played? You and me have played? That's different.
But we should play
That's
it
the
in.
remake of Gauntlet, which is similar, but not Gauntlet Legends.
I think that'd be an interesting one to review, though.
Regardless, we could go to an arcade and just be like, all right, we've got $20.
Oh, that's an interesting
This is how we're going to do it, and we could do an episode on that. I think that'd be fun because I really like Gauntlet Legends. Anthem, the developers EA/BioWare, they said they called it Our World, Your Story, I think.
I'm not a fan of BioWare anymore.
Well, that's maybe, though, because what did you like about BioWare?
Dragon Age, bro. All I want to do is play Dragon Age.
Was it the relationship
game.
building?
Yes, relationships.
I don't know if that has relationships. But
and fantasy.
when you get back to the hub, you didn't play Destiny, right? So the tower means nothing to you?
No.
Basically, when you get back to the tower, which is where you start, you go out into the world and you come back to the tower, out in your base camp.
Stormwind, Iron Forge.
Maybe. These places that you start in and go out and come back to and go out and come back to, this place in Destiny, wow.
What are you going on about?
This place in Anthem is only yours.
Okay.
When we're co-oping, you only see yours and it's only you there, and the relationships and stories you form and build there only happen there.
This sounds lame.
So I think it almost sounds like they're shoehorning in BioWare shit into Destiny. You know what I mean? Like they were like, we need to make a game like Destiny,
but also have
but
our
also we
BioWare
need to have that BioWare shit. So they put it in this way, and now I think that sounds bad.
It just sounds too like trying to be both.
Yeah.
And not doing either one to the fullest extent.
If you ask me, like a very fun part of a co-op game like that, it would be like sitting together. Like, you know what I mean? We get back to home and we just, you know what I mean? Like just fucking around.
Right.
Destiny had a ball you could hit, you could bounce.
So what you're saying is there wouldn't be a place of peace of rest.
I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't seem like it.
Well,
but
maybe a campsite. You
that'd
can
be cool.
sit in your tent.
I would love to.
Every time you say /sit, I have like vivid memories of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
That's what do you think of when you think of /sit?
All MMOs ever?
But like which one in specific?
Anarchy Online.
Okay, that's like the MMO of your childhood.
But I also /chicken because of WoW.
You know what?
When I say /chicken, it's WoW.
RuneScape. That would be a good one to do.
Put it on the list. And speaking of the list every place they can find us.
Oh, good one. You can find us on Twitter at Saves Together. That's where we do all our major updates. We are also on Instagram and Twitch, also as Saves Together. We don't stream like a lot yet, so don't worry about that Twitch thing. But go ahead and give us a follow if you want to find out when we're streaming. But we'll also post about it on Twitter, I'm sure.
And then it will go up on YouTube later.
Yes,
so
we post all our past streams on YouTube. We have lots of ways of harassing you. So we're also on YouTube. You can find our URL at our Twitter page. One day that will be a Saves Together URL.
When all of you Save Togetherers come together
and subscribe.
And subscribe to us because we need 100 subscribers to get a custom URL, which guess what it will be? What do you think? What do you think it should be when we get it?
I mean, I would like it to be Saves Together, but it may not be because
who else has? I'm going to check later.
Somebody may have it.
I'm going to find you.
Anyway, you can find us all there. We upload our videos to YouTube. That's what you do on YouTube. I'm trying to put up a new video. It will be 2 days ago, this Monday, so this week, for the new Secret of Mana episode 2. So you should go check that out. We're trying to upload more Let's Plays when we can, but you know, podcasting's what we do. So follow us.
This is the main course. That's all just
side dishes that if we have time to do it, we'll do it.
Not even. That's a snack at home. This is the entree known as Saves Together. Thank you for listening. I'm Craig McGowan. That's
Grace Novak.
Bye.
Bye.